All right, next we're going to talk about some of the easier to remedy malfunctions that you hopefully will never see. First on the list, and again, this is all readily available in the infantryman's like general guide thing that Sergeant Strauss put up. First one we're going to talk about is failure to fire. So failure to fire is very simple. It's just you've got a round in the chamber, like so, and you go ahead and squeeze the trigger, and all you hear is a click and no bang. So the hammer's dropped, and you've got a round in the chamber. So what your thought process should be at this time is the easiest way to fix this. Sports is a way. Sports is definitely a way. But what I should have mentioned before was there's a very, very simple way to fix this, and it's called tap, rack, bang. And it basically applies to pretty much any kind of magazine, like box magazine fed weapon, whether it's a pistol, rifle, whatever. So it works just like it sounds. You tap the magazine, rack it, and then squeeze the trigger. The easier way to say that should be tap, rack, assess, because you don't want to automatically assume that you're going to squeeze the trigger because there may or may not be a threat after you fix the malfunction. So just to be very clear, it's tap, rack, assess, not necessarily tap, rack, bang, but you should know what I'm talking about. If that doesn't solve your problem, and keep in mind, if this is in the heat of combat, you might not necessarily want to get too much into the weeds with like all the different stuff. But then if you have the time, you might want to start taking a look at like some of the causes of this. One thing that could be happening, basically, if this continues to happen over and over again, you keep like getting like clicks and no bangs over and over again with like fresh rounds. What you might want to start taking a look at is one of two things. Either basically what's happening is either there's some kind of issue with like your firing pin or fire control group. So either like something's happened to your hammer, or something's happened to like the amount of like spring pressure that is behind the hammer that's causing it to not impact the firing pin with like enough force to set off the round. Or, and I've seen this happen, not necessarily with these, but it happens to saws often, is there could be an issue with your firing pin. Your firing pin could have sheared off the part that's actually supposed to contact the primer, snapped off, and there's no longer any part of the firing pin that's making contact with the primer. Easiest way to solve that, or to figure that out, would be to actually find one of the rounds that you've ejected at this point. If there's like a defined dent on the back of the round that looks like that, then the chances are that you probably have like bad ammunition, like shitty ammunition. If there's no dent on the primer and that happens over and over again, then it's one of the things that I just mentioned.